Hey everyone, welcome to the Piney podcast. My name is Tony D. Not a lot to report. Murphy said New Jersey backslid a little bit, and we're at 1,200 cases today. That's up from 970 yesterday. So I wouldn't call that much of a bump. And again, these are cases of people getting tested, and Murphy expanded the testing of millions of people. So, take that for what you will. I am still steadfast in my belief that we need to open the state because the damage to the economy is going to be horrific. Now, it hasn't really hit yet, and a lot of people are super optimistic we're going to have what's called a V-shaped recovery. In other words, it went down, but it's going to shoot right back up. Would love to see it. Would love to be wrong. Seems kind of unlikely, though. First off, you're going to have all these restaurants. I don't know if a lot of them will ever come back. Some of these franchises, they could come back because they're supported by big corporations, I guess, and this is their opportunity to drive every mom and pop eatery out of business in South Jersey. And that would be tragic because that was one of the great things about South Jersey. But a lot of people are doing takeout and they're hanging on. Support your local restaurants, I guess, but there's only so much you can do in takeout. You don't support the waiters because there are no waiters. You support the sort of basic thing, but, that's a stripped down operation. It's not, when you got a big place with a lot of tables and space and you're just doing takeout, that's not going to cover all your cost, I don't think. People like to go out. I'm one of those people. I love to go out to eat. I love to sit in a restaurant, relax, and even if I'm by myself, I'll go to Ponzio's and I'll sit in a booth and I'll order some food and I'll sit on my phone and I'll just enjoy the atmosphere, and then I get my food and I'll eat my food, and and it's just nice. It's just a nice setting. It's nice to be out of the house. I'll look out the window. I'll look around the restaurant. It to me, that's a nice night out. That Murphy is still racking his brain to think how to open up diners and restaurants. It's pretty simple, Phil. Just open them, because that's what you're going to end up doing anyway. None of these places could come back online and be fully functional at 25% or 50% capacity. That's not how restaurants work. It works with people, the amount of people you have. Now, look, people have a choice, right? You see a crowded restaurant, you're worried about the beer virus, you don't go in. Simple as that. You should definitely still be battening down the hatches if you're elderly, too. You shouldn't be taking 90-year-old grandma out to diners, even when they open, even in states that have opened. You should probably still hold off on that. But that's still your choice. And even if you get sick, the chances of you surviving, a 111-year-old woman just survived. So, look, some people are in the hospital and it sucks. Some people have died and that really sucks. But a lot more people, in California, in one town in California, I forget which one, the suicide rate has spiked so much, it's higher than the rate of death for the beer virus. Yeah, and that's only going to get higher. People lose their homes and their businesses. They just fall apart financially. They don't have any other means to support themselves. They could kill themselves. And if they're not going to kill themselves, they could really go into a downward slide where their life never really recovers. So, and all this for what? There's being dead, and then there's wishing you were dead. If that's the choice, let people make that choice. And I made my choice. I went back to work. I'm outside in the sun a lot of times. I'm fairly confident I'm okay. even though I'm in a slightly elevated risk group. Joan, I'm making an important point here. Thank you. Joan, stop. Joan, hey, shut up. Anyhow, so Phil is still not getting it. But here's the weird thing today. The one weird thing. Joan, making the point. The one weird thing was Phil said, if you have a business, most businesses are complying, but if you have a business and you're thinking of not complying, you better watch out. It was a sort of this vague threat. I forget the exact wording. The fact that he threatened local businesses, first off, that is just the worst thing I think a governor has ever said in the state of New Jersey, to threaten his constituents in that way with the law. Thank you, no. I'll never vote for Phil Murphy. That is just unforgivable in my view. But the fact that he's threatening, do you threaten people when you're winning? When you feel that you're right and things are going well? Do you think you have to threaten people? No. That's an indication the pressure is getting to Phil a little bit. He's feeling the pressure, so keep it on. Some of the Republicans are trying to push pressure on him. The gym is going to federal court. They filed it. They're going to win, by the way, because the governor has no legal authority to do what he did. If he had just, given people general guidelines, said social distance, wear your mask, wipe everything down, open up all the windows, keep the place well ventilated. The one thing he could have done is said to every restaurant and bar and gym and whatever, listen, you're going to have good ventilation. You're going to have windows that open. Every one of your windows should open, and you should have to open them. At least for the summer, that would be pretty much a clear sailing. In the winter, you'd come back to it. But that's months away. And months from now, we could have some more information about this virus. So, the point is to save these businesses so people can continue to live and people can continue to have enough money to pay the taxes so idiots like Phil can stomp around and boss us around. So he needs to do this. And he's going to get his clock cleaned. And we're going to pay for it. We're going to pay for his mistakes. When the gym, Atlas Gym, finally wins their federal lawsuit against the state of New Jersey and sues for I don't know how many millions of dollars, guess who pays that? It's not coming out of Phil's pocket. It comes out of your pocket, fellow Piney. Your pocket. Yeah. So it's not Phil that's going to lose the lawsuit. We lose the lawsuit. So Phil is all super brave. He thinks he's right. Oh, well, I guess he can think he's right or not, because it doesn't really matter if he's right or wrong. He's not going to pay for it. So if anything, I think these Republican legislatures and all the state legislatures should tie those lawsuits into his salary. He should forfeit his salary if he loses any of these cases, because he doesn't have the legal authority. I bet if you put his money in danger, if his performance was based on how much he got paid, suddenly he'd have a different outlook on life, right? He'd suddenly say, well, if you really want to open, I guess I can't stop you. This is what libertarians mean by small government. Because if Phil backed off as he should have, that would have been a weaker, centralized government saying, well, we tried to warn you, we're going to back off, but we really don't think you should do this. That would be fine. And look, some people would get sick, and sadly, some people might even die. But I think we'd have less people who would either kill themselves or would feel like they should die. Would like to end on a high note. So there was one tiny bit of South Jersey news. New Jersey American Water donated $2,000 to the food bank. $2,000 worth of food. And I don't mean to be a spoilsport, but that seems like kind of a low number for a company as big as New Jersey Water, $2,000, maybe go to five. 5, 10 at least, I mean, I think you guys have some money. Maybe just give free water to the food bank and their employees for a year. Would that have been cheaper, or around $2,000 something? Feels a little light, New Jersey Water, but I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, as they say. So good for you. I'll give you a tiny good for you. That's it for the Piney podcast. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books, Wokistan, a Novel, and of course, The Pineys, books 1, 2, 3, and 4. Available. I got some good book reviews on Piney's, the first book, and I'll be posting those soon. See you next time.